Guatemala is a country with volcanoes, jungles, ancient cities, and colourful towns. It's raw, dramatic, and still not that well travelled, making it the perfect destination to visit right now. I mean, like right now. Pack your bags and let's go. No, well, watch this video first. If you're planning a trip or looking for inspiration, here are 12 things you absolutely cannot miss. And we're starting with one of the wildest experiences of all, climbing to see an active volcano. If you do one thing in Guatemala, it could be this. The Acatenango trek is legendary.
Actually pretty cold.
You climb through farmland, forest, and into the clouds until you're camping high on the volcano's slopes.
And then we are on Acatenango.
But the real show is right opposite, Volcán de Fuego, an active volcano spouting lava and smoke. All night long you sit around the fire watching it erupt. Lava and ash shoot into the sky.
Chocolate, sunset, fire.
Very vibey.
The hike is pretty tough, I'm going to be honest. It's dusty, it's steep, and it can be pretty tiring. But waking up at 3 a.m. to summit Acatenango for sunrise is magical. From the top, you see a chain of volcanoes with the clouds stretched out below. Is it hard? Yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely. The closest major town to Acatenango is Antigua, one of the most beautiful colonial cities in Central America.
It's really colourful, short buildings, and then surrounding it, just like a big volcano in the background.
There are loads of sites worth visiting here, like the famous Santa Catalina Arch, seen on all of the postcards of Guatemala and built in the 1600s. But a spot not to miss is Cerro de la Cruz.
Get there is a nice little uphill walk through a forest, and already the views of the city are looking pretty cool.
And from the top, you get some of the best views of the whole city, with cobbled streets, colourful rooftops, and Volcan Agua rising dramatically behind.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Does it really cool?
It's the perfect place to take in Antigua's history and setting in one sweeping view. Now, number 3, Antigua is also Guatemala's food capital. So the food and drink here are just incredible, and you have to eat and drink everything. I know this is kind of non-specific, but a few places that you have to go to. In Antigua, a place called Fat Cat Coffee House sells incredible coffee.
There's no latte up, but they're so confident it tastes good, they don't need it.
And you can even get lunch at Tzankujil for maize-based tacos loaded with fresh local flavours. But the highlight was Frida's in Antigua, one of the best meals you'll have anywhere in Central America. Just check out these veggie tacos. There's a cool candlelit bar called Café No Sé, known for its endless mezcal list and hidden rooms. It's chaotic, cool, and the perfect end to a night in Antigua. Now, Guatemala is famous for chocolate, and chocolate isn't just food here, it's history. The Maya valued cacao so much they used it as currency in rituals and as offerings to the gods.
Echua means monkey, god of the cacao.
Today you can step into a workshop in loads of places, including in Antigua, to see exactly how chocolate was made from cacao bean to drink. The best part of any chocolate making experience is, of course, making and actually eating the chocolate.
I want to sort the chili one taste.
It goes on.
Yeah, please.
And here we got to drink different cacao drinks and come away with our own bag of chocolate. After singing the chocolate anthem, of course.
I love chocolate.
Now, you can do a chocolate workshop in many places in Guatemala, but we chose to do it at a family-run spot called Echua Chocolataria in the center of Antigua. As well as chocolate, Guatemala produces some of the best coffee in the world. In many places, as well as just outside of Antigua, you can visit a finca or a farm. We visited Finca Filadelfia, a working coffee farm. Now, depending on the season, you'll get to see bright red cherries being picked, beans drying on huge patios, and roasting rooms that smell incredible. Most of the best beans are exported, so drinking it here at the source really feels like a privilege, and a scene from Narcos as they pack it up.
This is the tasting lab, where the master tasters will taste every single batch of roasted coffee. What joy with that. I wonder if you can apply for it here.
You can try this world-class coffee and even learn the correct way to taste coffee. Little smell, little sip, and then wash your palate with water. I'm telling you, you have to try it. The black coffee here just tastes different. Hidden deep in the jungle near Lanquin in central Guatemala is Semuc Champey, one of Guatemala's most beautiful natural wonders. A limestone bridge creates a series of turquoise pools while the river roars beneath.
We paid for our tickets, which was 50 quetzales per person for someone who's not from Guatemala, which is about $7.
For the Maya, this was a sacred place tied to myths of the underworld and rebirth. Today, you can hike to the Mirador for an epic view.
You can see here where it comes, flows down all of these different steps of waterfall.
Swim in the crystal pools and slide between the waterfalls. It's really a remote place that is logistically quite difficult to travel to, but one of those things that the beauty can only truly be understood with your own eyes, and definitely worth the trip. To get to Semuc Champey, you need to head to Lanquin, and while you're in Lanquin, grab a tube and float down the river.
We are floating down this river in Semuc Champey.
It's simple, but it's also an adventure in itself. Bouncing through rapids, drifting past jungle, stopping at riverside hostels for drinks and games. The guide occasionally shouts, "Butts up!" as you pass over hidden rocks. Before long, you've made a dozen new friends, just by bumping into them and talking to them. It's the definition of Guatemalan fun and a great way to see the natural beauty of Lanquin whilst floating in the river. Heading to the north of Guatemala is the ancient city of Tikal. Once one of the greatest Mayan cities, it was built around 600 BC and was home to over 100,000 people. It thrived for centuries before being swallowed by the jungle, and today it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Also, I just can't imagine what this would have looked like without the trees. So when the Mayans were here, Tikal had no trees. And so you'd be able to see from these massive structures to the next massive structures. And these structures took 10 to 15 years to make.
You can really feel the energy here, and you feel like Indiana Jones exploring these sites.
It's interesting here that you can walk on the ruins, which is not something that you can do in a lot of places.
Take a sunrise tour and wander through the plazas where kings ruled.
It is just way bigger than I imagined.
Climb temples for panoramic views and stand in the Great Plaza, surrounded by temples that echo with howler monkeys' roars.
I just can't believe that noise. Imagine walking through the forest at night and then just hearing that noise. I'd run.
Visit at sunrise and you'll feel like you've stepped back in time. Lake Atitlán is one of the most scenic places in the world. A volcanic lake ringed by villages and mountains. But for the best view of the lake, you need to wake up at 4 a.m. and climb up to the Indian nose. It's called that because the mountains actually look like an Indian nose.
We have been dropped off in this place. Don't really know where because it's quite dark. And we're following our guide called William up this mountain. He said it's going to take 45 minutes to the sunrise point.
This is a short hike on the edge of the lake, and at the top you sit with a hot chocolate waiting for dawn.
And at the moment it is completely dark and we're like an hour before sunrise.
Yes, it's the way day now, isn't it?
As the sun rises, the volcanoes appear, towns light up around the lake, and the whole scene really feels otherworldly.
The sun has finally arrived.
I like to consider hikes in effort and reward. This is definitely a lower effort hike for a much higher reward. On the other side of Lake Atitlán, there are a few spots that definitely are worth visiting. For pure adrenaline, head to San Marcos La Laguna and its nature reserve, Cerro Tzankujil.
It's right by the dock where the boats drop you off, and you just walk kind of like 5 minutes.
Walk the jungle paths to the 12-metre platform and launch yourself into the deep blue waters of Lake Atitlán.
That is a pretty big jump.
Volcanoes surround you, the lake sparkles, and the jump is epic. Afterwards, you can relax in the reserve or wander San Marcos' bohemian streets full of yoga studios, cacao shops and cafes.
You've got intimacy workshops, Ayurvedic sessions, hypnotherapy sessions, mystical yoga farms, devotional singing, sacred plant ceremony.
There really is gemstone energy here. If you get time, check out Eagle's Nest for a yoga class. Another lakeside sea is in San Juan, the artistic heart of Lake Atitlán.
This street is one of the most colourful places I've ever been in my life. And the painting is just on the floor. There's people walking on it. It almost feels like you shouldn't be walking.
The main street is a piece in itself, full of murals, painted floors and colourful buildings.
We are really enjoying the outdoor market bit, which is covered by these really colourful umbrellas.
You'll find art galleries, craft markets and some incredible artists.
And we've been into a lot of them, but by far this one has been my favourite, by an artist called Alex. And at the top it says Alex Art. And he has loads of really interesting interpretations of corn. One, they love to paint corn here. You'll see corn paintings everywhere. But he has really abstract ways of painting corn that I think are just really interesting and worth checking out.
Don't miss the Stingless Bee Farm, where you can taste honey straight from the hive.
We tasted 12 honeys. It was probably a bit too much honey. And then we tasted a little honey wine as well.
It's cultural, creative and the perfect counterpoint to the lake's more touristy villages.
So that bee is always there waiting at that hole? Wow.
And these ones don't sting.
Yes.
But
They bite.
the bite is worse.
It's like a pinch.
Have you been bitten by the bees before?
Yeah, every day.
The final lakeside spot on this list is San Pedro, with a buzzing backpacker scene, but also strong Mayan culture and Spanish schools that attract travellers from around the world. My highlight though is riding a horse through town and into the forest.
Feels surreal, like you're in a western, to be riding these tiny streets on a horse.
With a local guide, you leave the narrow streets and suddenly you're galloping with views over the lake and volcanoes.
This is just absolutely wild.
It really feels like stepping into a video game. Surreal, wild and unforgettable. From erupting volcanoes and ancient ruins to jungle rivers, chocolate and lakeside adventures, Guatemala is really a country that has a little bit of everything. If you want to know more about any of these spots, I've definitely got a whole video on it, so subscribe to inspire your adventure.